We're here today to mourn the deaths of at least 25,000, likely much more, Tamil civilians who were killed in the last segment of this war in Sri Lanka and Tamil Eelam. Ever since independence from the British, the Sri Lankan government has systematically marginalized, oppressed, and tried to assimilate the Tamil people. Even more importantly, the Sri Lankan government has attempted to squash the Tamil culture and move to get rid of it entirely. One could even make very important similarities between the systematic attacks of the Canadian government towards the First Nations people of this land and the Sri Lankan government and the Tamil people and Tamil culture. Whether it be the Sinhala-only laws that were started in the 1950s, the state-sponsored colonization schemes in the eastern provinces aimed to dilute Tamil homelands, the banning of Tamil films, books, magazines from Tamil Nadu in the 1970s, or the attacks on the Tamil education with the standardization practices excluding Tamils from the post-secondary education, and the military occupations of Jaffna University that happened again and again, the aim has always been the same: to cut the lifeblood from the Tamil people and the Tamil culture and force the majority culture on the Tamil people. The most vicious attack on the Tamil culture was, of course, the burning of the Jaffna Library in 1981, destroying 100,000 volumes of most cultural and historical importance to the Tamil people. But I'm not here to give a history lesson to those that I'm sure would most of you in the room would do a much better job than myself. But these are just the types of things that I've become more and more aware of over the last few years, especially the last few months. And I'm hoping that more and more Canadians are becoming aware of these things as well. What I'm here to do is to mourn the deaths of countless in the decades-old and continuing war on one of the world's most beautiful islands. From the riots in the 1950s targeting Tamils to the government-sponsored anti-Tamil pogroms of the Black July in the 1980s, thousands died before this war even began. And for those, I grieve. For the killings of the civilians throughout the war, and those who died after the tsunami because they weren't even allowed aid into the Tamil areas, which I saw myself when I went to Sri Lanka and Tamil Eelam to give tsunami relief. For those, I grieve. For all those who lost their lives in the last part of the conflict, and for all of those brothers and sisters who come to this university and all universities across this country who've lost loved ones, for those I grieve as well. However, we're moving forward. I'm proud to say that in December, the Canadian Federation of Students Ontario took a firm position against what is happening to the Tamil people in Sri Lanka and Tamil Eelam. Several months later, the Student Federation of the University of Ottawa, led by the great activists in the Tamil community at the Tamil Students Union here at the University of Ottawa, also took a strong position against what's happening in Tamil Eelam and Sri Lanka. And just last month, the Canadian Federation of students from across the country representing 500,000 students, took a strong and firm position against what is happening to the Tamil people in Tamil Eelam and in Sri Lanka. It is time that the Canadian people, and not just the Tamil population of our country, but all Canadians, take a hard look at what is happening in that part of the world so that we can stand up against oppression, against all forms of violence, especially targeted against one form or one culture, which is happening against the Tamil people. And I'm proud to say that at least the students of this country have done that and are standing with you and will continue to do so as long as your fight continues. Thank you very much.